Hi everybody, this is your friendly Pedo giving you a live, unrehearsed presentation of test-driven development. If this experiment works, you'll be seeing this. If it doesn't, I won't show it to you because I have no idea how it's going to go. Basically, I'm using an example that I read about in a book that I read about called Practical Test-Driven Development, and I'm going to try to create a set of classes to support money in different currencies, basically. So first I'm going to set up basically a mini test and mini test spec, and I'm going to, again, this is the code I stole, prove that it is installed correctly, and close quote, and I'm going to say it works. This is a good way to start. I always start this way. Come on, editor is not playing ball. One.must equal 1. Okay, so if my test framework is properly installed, this should work. And it does not work because I have a typo in here. I did not put the do here, so let's try that again. And boom, one test worked. Okay, we're in good shape. So the philosophy with test-driven development is basically you write the test first, and it fails, and you fix the bug. So let's start with the most elementary. I'm going to change this comment to something more appropriate. Currency class or money class works. Sometimes you could just put the class name here, and works can represent $0. That's the easiest idea I have. And I will say something like money dot m equals money dot new. The amount is 0. The unit is dollars. Call it dollar. Oops, equals. Okay, and then I'm going to say m dot. We call it the amount dot must equal 0, and I'll also say that m dot currency dot must equal $. Okay, now obviously it's not going to run because there's no code here. I'm going to get lots of errors, starting with the fact that there's no money class. Now typically in the real world you wouldn't put the test in with the code, but because I'm trying to give you an example, I'm going to put the test in with the code. Okay? So, alright, let's make this test work. So I'm going to put class money, and the constructor takes an amount and a currency, and I'm going to have an adder and greeter for amount and another one for currency. And okay, that's good. And oops, sorry, that of course does not go there, it goes here. And essentially what I'm going to say is amount equals, rather, self.amount equals amount, and self.currency equals currency. Actually, that's not even right. What I really want to say is at. I think those things might mean the same. And now my test fails because there's a missing end on my class. And still have an error. And my error. Let me make my screen bigger here so we can see better what's going on. Amount. I have amount here and AMT there. Okay, that's not a problem. Should have done a find and replace here, but I didn't. Okay, run the test again. Boom, it works. Excellent. Okay, simple enough. Let's see if we can represent addition. So I'm going to say it can add money of the same currency. I'm going to say m equals money.new $100 and n equals money.new $200. Remember, I have not planned this design out. Okay, I'm honestly just making it up as I go along. And I'm going to say sum equals m plus n. Interesting. Is that going to work? Fine. I'm going to want to say sum dot currency dot must equal dollar, and sum dot amount dot must equal 300. Of course, what do we think? This is not going to run. For one thing, there's no plus operator on money. Okay, we can fix that. Let's say def, let's go actually, I think it's plus amount, other. So I'm basically trying to add self.money to the other one. So the first thing we're going to check, first case we're going to check, is that if my currency is not equal to your currency, then I'm going to raise, what's it called? Let's call it, just say exception, cannot add money of different currencies. And once we get through that, we can say that we want to return essentially a new money.new, where the amount is going to be amount plus other.amount, and the currency is going to be the same currency as I have, because it's the same. And n. I think that'll do it. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Great. Can we multiply money? Sure, let's try that. It can multiply an amount by its scalar, by a number. Do m equals money.new $1,000 new product equals m times 5, and so product dot currency dot must equal 5,000, and product, no, sorry, dollar, and product dot amount must equal 5,000. And run it. It fails because we do not know how to multiply an amount by a number, so we can add that. Def star other. Now in this case, other better be a number. If it's not a number, then we can't multiply it. So I'm going to say if I'm going to write this a little differently now. Raise exception cannot can only multiply multiply number money by a number if other unless other dot class equals, and now for a moment I forget the name of the class. I'm going to call up my trusty shell. I'm going to run, I'm going to run pry, and I'm going to go 1.0 dot class and 1 dot class. Okay, so actually we want to permit both is equal to fixed num or other.class is equal to float. Notice capitalized, I'm referring to the class itself, and I'm going to say return money.new at amount times other and the same currency. Currency does not change. And okay, let's try to run it. And it worked. Awesome. Let's make it a little bit more difficult now. Let's try to add a few things from different currencies. Okay. So it can add amounts of different currencies. Oops, now we're going to get into trouble. I can see it coming. So I'm going to say see dollar equals money dot new $1,000 and euro equals money dot new 1,000 euro and sum equals dollar plus euro. Okay, I'm stuck. What is the actual way in which I want to handle this? I think I'm going to have to indicate an exchange rate somewhere. And my first idea is that the exchange rate is essentially a class instance variable for money, and that should be a table. So I'm going to claim that my table in money is going to be set up. I'm going to stop on this example for a second because there's actually a more important example that I have to put in first, which is it can record exchange rates, in which I will say money dot, so now I'm actually I'm going to set exchange rate, so I'm going to say add exchange rate dollar, no idea how this is going to work out, whether it's a good design or not, to euro, which means given a dollar, how do I get a euro? And it is multiplied by, I'm going to make this up, I don't know what the right number is, 1.1, let's say. And I have to be able to say money dot convert $1 to euro must, and then I want to get its amount, must equal 1.1. Alright, you see what I'm doing there? I'm going to comment this out because I don't want to think about it yet. So what I said here is that if I tell the money class the exchange rate from dollar to euro is multiplied by 1.1, and I next tell it that I want to convert $1 to euros to be 1.1, I'm going to run it. Of course, it's going to fail miserably because we don't have this can record exchange rates. So the philosophy is in TDD is you take the simplest possible code that would actually address the problem. So I'm going to define self dot add exchange rate. It's going to take 3 parameters, currency 1, currency 2, and rate. And it's going to add to a hash think about that for a second. If I'm going to say at exchange rate table equals this if at exchange rate table is a nil. So I'm going to always initialize with a empty hash, and then I'm going to add, it's just a guess, add exchange rate table this means concatenate to it Alright, the key is going to be currency 1, an array of currency 1, currency 2. This is probably not going to work, but that's the whole idea. Currency 1 is rate. So to read this to you, it says that I'm adding to that current exchange rate table a new entry. The key is an array of currency 1 and currency 2, and the value is the rate. And see if this even runs. Okay, I got a syntax error here, so I have to go over here and investigate because I'm confused by this myself. A equals an empty hash, a 100. Nope, that doesn't work. 100. Nope. A merge. Is it merge? Probably that's what it is. Nope. A is a hash, right? Let me just check here. A, yes, A dot merge. Okay, A dot merge. Nope, it doesn't like that. So I have to now go into my documentation, which is fine. You can see it all happening while we watch. Oops. I wonder what you're even recording right now. I want to move my browser over to this pane here, and I'm going to move this over here so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to here, I'm going to do, I'm going to search for Ruby hash merge. Remind myself what the syntax looks like. Look for merge. Oh, maybe all I'm doing here, I'm just getting myself confused. Yeah, gotcha. So really what I wanted to say here, I was just getting myself all confused, was, this is odd, but indexed by that little array is equal to rate. That's really what I want to do. Okay, now I got this command convert down here does not exist. So I'm going to add that method, def self convert. Amount cur1 cur2, and I'm going to say first guess. I'm going to simply look for add exchange rate table where the index is 2, and I'm going to multiply by amount. Now, still doesn't work because right, it was amount. It's failing on line 59 here. Dot amount. Yeah, because I'm returning a number. Oh, right. I'm simply converting the 1 dot amount. I'm getting back just the conversion, so I don't need this. Boom. Now this is very, very limited because it's assuming that my from and my to currencies are in the correct order. But let's see if I can achieve what I want to do now, keeping it within this very simple case. So now I'm going to uncomment this, because that's kind of, I skipped a step. and I want to say that when I attempt to add two numbers and they're not of the same currency, I have to invoke these these class methods, right? So let's try to do that, see what happens. This is kind of fun, actually. It's kind of a challenge. Okay, so I'm going to go find, what I need to do is update my plus. I'm going to handle this case, right? So now it's no longer going to be an error if the currencies don't match. It's actually just going to be another case. So I'm going to say if the currencies match, well then that's easy. And I can even say return, because it's over here. Right? However, if they don't match, now I've got something a little bit more complicated to do. So what I want to do is I'm going to look up those two. I'm going to assume that I want to return the unit of the first currency, no, the second currency, no, hang on. Sum is dollar per euro. I'm looking at line 64. The question is, sum is going to be a class. It's going to be of class. Let me put that in here. Yeah, I'm going to put an assert here. I'm going to say sum dot currency dot must equal dollar. And sum dot amount dot must equal something, but I have to first add the exchange rate here, right? Because it's not going to remember it. Actually, interesting whether it'll remember it or not. Interesting because I'm modifying money on the fly. It's probably not a good idea, but let's go ahead with it. Add. I'm going to just put this, copy this line. Okay. So once I do that, if I get the amount back, it should be $1,000 plus dollar to euro. 1,100 euro. Interesting. Ooh, let me just make it easier. Let's say that we get the result in euro to start with. So, because I'm saying that a dollar is 1.1 euro, which is actually the opposite of reality. Actually, it's a euro is 1.1 dollars. But the way I define this, and here it's worth making a note, because that's pretty important. This means that 1 unit of currency 1 has the same value as rate times 1 units of currency 2. It's a classic off by 1, or actually parameter reversal problem. So I'm going to say that the answer is going to be, back to line 68, the answer is going to be in euro. And because I said that $1 is equal to 1.1 euro, I'm going to basically have 1,000. I'm going to have 22. I'm going to have 1,000 becomes 1,100, 2,100. Not 2,100. So it should be 2,100 euro. I know it's not reality. Okay. But I just realized that I have a simpler case that I can do first. So I'm going to comment this out again because I'm skipping steps, which is it can convert from one unit to another. I'm going to say, first of all, add the old exchange rate, and I'm going to say dollar 1,000 equals money dot new $1,000, and I'm going to say euro is $100 1000 convert to euro. And I'm going to say euro amount. I want to say euro amount, oops, dot currency must equal euro, and euro amount, oops, dot amount amount, full word, amount dot must equal 1100, and run it, and it's going to complain that I do not have, oh, first of all, it's a typo, $100, $1,000, $1,000, run it again, convert to, okay, we knew that's wrong, so I'm going to add a convert to method here. Def convert, oops, convert to unit. First I'm going to look up the exchange, so I'm going to look up the exchange rate. I'm going to say, oh yeah, here we go, I'm going to say, I'm going to call, we'll take add amount times self.convert, oh no, add amount equals, let's just say new amount, just to keep it safe, equals add amount times self.convert, add amount, no, self.convert, oh, I don't need this, wrong, may not be the best way to do it, I've said that before. Add amount from add currency to new currency. Alright, and now I have to return money.new, creating a new money instance of the currency, no, of the amount, new amount, and the currency, new currency. That should do it. Run it. All kinds of problems. Let's have a look here. Oh, I have a convert to instead of convert. So let's start with that. We're working on this one. Convert. Oh, no, it says convert to. Oh, covert. Ah, okay, hang on. Convert. Run it. Still an error. We have a line 32 here. Self.convert. Self.convert. That looks right. It's saying that no such method called convert undefined, let me look at it closely here. Undefined method, so errors on line 32, which is here, and it says there's no method called convert, but I'm calling self.convert. Maybe I have to say money. I think I have to say money.convert. I did. Okay. Why? Because at this point in the code, self is equal to the instance. So I have to indicate specifically the class. Okay, we got the easy case to work, which is simply one thing to convert that same amount. Now I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult. I'm going to add to it, okay. I'm going to make it part of the addition, right? So the addition now becomes a little easier because in the case when the currencies don't match, all I have to do is convert, let's see, well, I'm assuming here that the answer comes back in the denomination of the second amount, So I have to convert the first amount to that and then add them together. So I'm going to say money dot convert my own amount and my own currency to the other dot currency is the my amount in new currency. And now I simply want to create a new answer, which is going to be returning money.new, and the amount is going to be my amount in the new currency plus the other guy's amount in the new currency, other.currency. Alright, see how clever I am? Run it. I'm very clever. Good. Alright, so now I know how to add amounts in different currencies as long as it's dollar to euro. Okay, what if I want to go the other way around? And I'm going to leave the rest for you to think about. I'm going to write some more tests. And they're all going to fail, but I'll show you. It can convert money of other currencies, money from euro to dollar also. That's the first one. And it looks something like this. Hey. Ha, come on. Is my editor being helpful? Don't have to do that. Brighten it up again. And I would want to say that, just take these lines here and reverse them. So instead of, that's fine, but then I want to do this. Very similar. This time I'm going to say sum is dollar plus euro, but I'm going to reverse them because I want to make it, actually the dependency of the order is nonsense. And now the currency must equal dollar, because we're always take on the currency of the second parameter, and the amount must equal, is it 900? No, it's something else. It would be, let me just get my calculator out here, 1,000 divided by 1.1. So I say it should be 1,000 plus that, so it would be 1909.09. And of course, yeah. And that's not going to work, obviously. And then I'm going to add another test. How about if I can what else do I need to do? And this, by the way, is going to introduce a problem because the actual number according to calculator is 909.0909. So we will to consider round up. I guess we can do one more interesting trick to it, which is, let's say, I'm going to just copy this test. It can convert even if it has to use two different exchange rates. So I might say I'm going to add this, but I'm going to also add dollar to Bitcoin. or Bitcoin to dollar, make it even more interesting. Dollar, which right now is running, I think, like, I don't know, 300 or something. And now I want to say dollar is money.new $1,000, euro money, and Bitcoin money is money.new 10,000 Bitcoin, and I want to be able to say add interesting, some money, bit count, Bitcoin, Bitcoin sum equals euro money plus Bitcoin money, and I want to say that we want to make sure that Bitcoin sum dot currency dot must equal Bitcoin and Bitcoin sum dot amount dot must equal, and I'll come up with some number. I don't know. 1200. We'll have to calculate with a calculator. Alright? And and I can write more tests. It detects, handles unknown currencies in an intelligent way, and so on. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to run this one last time to show you that, of course, the last two tests failed, but these do work. And I will leave the rest as an exercise to the reader, as they say. Okay, I guess the experiment worked. I hope my recording worked. And I will see you in class. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this was interesting. Haha.